Soviet Union in 1991, only then did the Ukrainian people begin openly discussing the events of 1932-33, with witnesses coming forth to tell of the horrors they had experienced during the genocide. The Ukrainian nation, after nearly 60 years of silence, began its national healing process. Now, the time has come from the rest of the world to acknowledge and recognize the inhumanity that the Ukrainian nation experienced 80 years ago. But put yourself in the midst of the situation, if you would, and imagine the Delaware River Valley, a population of approximately 6.5 million people, according to the 2010 census, vanishing in 18 months without the world knowing or caring. Unfathomable would be the immediate reaction of any human being wrought with a conscience and love for mankind. Yet the world, as we know it today through its various mediums of communication, is not the world of yesteryear, where slogans such as "food as a weapon," as expressed by Stalin's former Soviet Commissar of Foreign Affairs Maxim Litvinov, described the end to a means in physically starving to death as many as 7 to 10 million innocent Ukrainian men, women, and children between the years 1932 and 1933. One simple word can only describe the horrors and calculated human suffering caused by the Soviets: genocide, which, described by Webster's dictionary, emphatically states the following, and I quote, "The deliberate and systematic destruction of a racial, political, or cultural group," unquote. We know and understand the meaning of that horrific word, and as we gather in this city, in the city of brotherly love, to relate to the rest of the world the truth about the victims of the Ukrainian genocide and their incredible sacrifice, only having informed the world of the millions of victims and achieving international recognition of the Holodomor as a genocide, will we be able to honor the memory of its victims, all the while remembering the tragic pages of world history in order to prevent them from occurring again. Our everlasting theme is simple and quite clear. Україна пам'ятає, світ визнає. Ukraine remembers, the world recognizes. Steps toward that direction have already been accomplished, as witnessed through Holodomor curriculum within our nation's high schools, including here in the state of Pennsylvania. Legislation by national legislatures worldwide of Ukrainian genocide in commemorative resolutions, and the fortunate act of erecting a monument to the victims of the Ukrainian famine genocide on federal land in the District of Columbia. Today, this gesture of goodwill presented to the American people will signify the relevance of Ukraine's tragedy 80 years ago, but will also promote an everlasting symbol that the world must be vigilant of all crimes against humanity and strive to eradicate those instances throughout the world. What we must recognize, however, is that the Ukrainian genocide is not simply a Ukrainian issue. It is a worldwide issue. It is an American issue. America's long-standing role as the foremost champion of human rights in the world makes Washington, D.C. the best location for a memorial to this tragedy. When the United States Congress and President Bush in 2006 authorized the establishment of a, quote, memorial on federal land in the District of Columbia to honor the victims of the Ukrainian famine genocide of 1932-33, unquote, U.S. Representative Sander Levin, sponsor of the congressional resolution, remarked, "Only through remembrance and recognition can we stop such acts of senseless cruelty and violence against mankind from ever happening again. Every sitting U.S. president in recent memory has used the Ukrainian famine genocide to illustrate crimes against humanity and to renew the struggle for human rights. President Reagan noted that by honoring the victims of the Ukrainian genocide, Americans are, quote, afforded another opportunity to honor our own system of government and the freedoms we enjoy and our commitment to the right of self-determination and liberties for all peoples of the world. President Clinton observed, "We have a solemn obligation to keep alive the memory of the innocent victims who suffered and died because of Stalin's attempt to crush Ukraine." And in 2008, President Bush referred to the Ukrainian Holodomor of 1932-33, quote, as a crime against humanity. But sadly, the world has yet learned the cruel lessons of the Ukrainian Holodomor genocide. Food continues to be used as a political weapon in the world. Apathy and ignorance of history will ensure that the mistakes of the past will be repeated. It is not enough, however, to speak of genocide and famine in the abstract. We must cite specific examples, such as that of the Ukrainian genocide, in order to put a human face on such crimes. To do otherwise is to dismiss the murder of millions as a mere statistic. Whether through a memorial in Washington, D.C., or through curriculum in our high schools, today and every day, we are here to keep their memory alive. We are here to pass the torch along from one generation to another and inspire the youngest to stand firmly in honor and memorialize the millions who needlessly suffered at the hands of a dictator. Only through our constant vigilance will the world finally know the truth about the Ukrainian Holodomor. Вічна їм пам'ять.